This episode of Tekzilla is brought to you by Jack Threads. Time to get our HD Nation on. For home theater, the rule of thumb for front projectors is the larger the better. Bigger glass, brighter pictures, and usually superb geometry. But if your projection needs call for something a little more portable, our friends over at Optoma have unleashed a pair of pint-sized front projectors well suited for anyone who lives out of their laptop bag, their briefcase. Do people still carry briefcases? I don't think I've seen a briefcase in a decade.
I think for a lot of mobile travelers with their portable electronics, they're looking for something to protect them more, so they're probably using padded, I don't know, backpacks. I do anyway, to keep it going. Check these out. That little tiny guy you're holding right there, that's the Optoma PK320. Not much bigger than your average smartphone, about $450 online. 236 grams with its rechargeable lithium-ion battery installed.
What's shocking me is...
I have it plugged in right now to DC power, but I could actually unplug it. It would continue to run.
This is insane, because a couple of years ago, we would have had to have turned off every... we would have had to turn off the sun, not to mention every light in the building. We're under a couple 4,000 watts of light here, and you can actually see
shooting this onto cardboard. It might not. It looks pretty good in person, I will say. Right. And it's slightly larger, cousin. You see right up top here is its Optoma ML500. It's about $520 online, and it also tips the scales at a svelte about 650 grams. Both projectors are similar in their technologies. In a sense, they're using LED DLP technology. LED is the lamp module system. It's actually RGB, red, blue, and green LEDs, sequentially fired. Okay. So what that does is eliminate the spinning color wheel you'll find in other front projectors that use DLP technology. Single chip systems, in order to generate the color we see, to do red, blue, and green, and to mix that. Usually you'll have a piece of spinning plastic in front of it with red, blue, and green sections on it. These actually use colored LEDs, which do two things. One, it gives you good brightness and efficiency, but also lamp life. You're getting about, they claim, 20,000 hours out of an LED system, which is pretty typical. Rugged too, unlike a bulb or a lamp module, these are a little more rugged, you would hope, because they're semiconductor light technology, the LED system. Also, they feature, as you can see, tripod mounts on the bottom, which make them pretty flexible in terms of installation options. Both also feature VGA and HDMI inputs with built-in speakers. Lots of dongles and mini ports for the most part. You can see right there is the bottom where the tripod mount is, the front shot, and that's the PK320, our little baby there. On the PK320, one little oddball part, you can actually see it on the back there, is the placement of the mini HDMI port right next to the power cable. It was a little strange in the sense that if I try to plug in with my oddball mini HDMI adapter cable, it actually won't fit at the same time the power plugs in. There wasn't enough room to have those both side by side. I will blame it on the design of my HDMI cable. Hopefully there is one that has a slightly smaller plug that goes into it, but that was the one oddity.
These don't have internal rechargeable batteries or anything, do they?
Just this one. It actually has a removable lithium ion, the small PK320. They claim on its medium bright mode, it'll run for about 45 minutes. If you turn it down to its lowest bright mode, it'll go for about 90 minutes, which makes it pretty fun. On the other side of it, they also both include infrared remote controls as well. These projectors also incorporate multimedia file playback capabilities that include support for popular audio formats too, like OGG and FLAC. I was kind of surprised. It also played my purchased 720p copy, MPEG-4 video of Louis C.K.'s recent comedy special. Oh, wow. I just dropped that in. It's about a 1.2 gig file. Loaded it right up, started playing it. For the road warriors, though, the projectors will display your Office docs, too, without needing a PC, thanks to the integrated Microsoft Office document viewer. It's handy to be able to plug in a USB drive full of spreadsheets, PDFs, Word files, and the like, and then use the infrared remote to navigate and display those files without having to have a PC connected. It worked pretty well. Actually, I was kind of surprised. It's handy to not have to fire up the PC for that sort of thing.
So you're going to talk about your standard benchmark test in a second. Yeah. We should talk. Are people playing movies on these? Or are these really 90% of this is I'm sitting in a small office with a group of people and I'm using a whiteboard as a screen?
I would say these are mostly designed for your people on the go, people doing presentation work. This is not, these, I wouldn't consider these home theater projectors. I don't think Optoma would either. Right. They're looking at these as mostly the size, strict portability, fairly reliable and rugged lamp module design. It's something you're not going to have to be running out to replace the lamp module anytime soon. And they come also in padded travel cases like this. This is for the 520. For the PK320, or the 500. For the PK320, it actually has a smaller padded envelope for it as well to keep it nice and safe.
So you could actually use these as sort of, you know, I'm traveling with the kids, I want to entertain them. And
Without a doubt.
How big a screen can you get off of one of these?
I was shooting at 5 feet away, say. For the PK320, I was getting about a 39-inch image from 5 feet away. And for the Optoma, that actually bumped it up a little bit to about, I want to say about 48 inches or so. So if you're looking to do larger images, you definitely want to turn more to the PK520. You're just going to get better image size and a brighter picture overall. As we were talking about the benchmark test, though, these are really business class projectors, and as such, the colors tend to be a bit exaggerated, to say the least. You can take a look at some of the benchmark results there. The PK320 in particular, here are the results for the 320. In particular, just notice that the color points as measured fall way outside of the triangle, meaning that the colors are very saturated. This is a very high-end, a very well-saturated picture that's great for displaying documents, but not necessarily what you're looking for a movie. Although the resolution for the PK320 is 854 by 480, which is just about a perfect match for a widescreen DVD movie. And for the ML500, actually, its resolution's almost 720p, a little bit greater than that at 1280 by 800. And you think about brightness-wise, when I took measurements off the screen at the same screen size, the 500's almost twice as bright as the 320.
Wow.
So, but at appropriate distances, at similar distances, I was still getting a significant bump in improvement. So if light output is really the key for you, you're looking more towards something like the ML500. Also, one of my favorite features, this is really more for the road warrior type thing, but if you can note the projected image up here, say if I suddenly bent the projector down and it affects the keystone of the image, pop. It automatically adjusts the keystone, which is, you know, is it trapezoid shaped with the image? And if I do that again, it won't do it on the 320, but this is just specifically for the 500 model. And if I leave it alone for a second, it might pops it back out.
That's really
It's
cool.
not perfect, but you know what? If you're just in a hurry trying to get your meeting going and you don't want to think about the setup of the projector, this is pretty much however you place it, it will get the image looking okay on the screen.
If you're trying to make a $4 million order, you don't want to be like, it's just the keystoning I need to adjust. It'll just take a second, sir.
Totally. And the bottom line really is that the thing that impressed me most about both of these Optoma projectors is the brightness being achieved with the LED-based lamp modules that they're using here. The multimedia file and Office dock support, solid. And I really appreciate the ML500's extra resolution, increased brightness, and that auto keystone correction is pretty nifty too. And also, before you swipe the card on any projector, be sure to check out the related calculator that's often provided to ensure it's going to work within the distances and the screen sizes that you need it to work with. There's nothing worse than purchasing a projector, a small or a large or any size projector, and then realizing that the lens package and the design of it just is not going to work with your distance needs and your screen size needs.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about whether you're in the living room or in the office. Like, you know, honey, all I got to do is move the ceiling fan 4 feet over or cut that beam in half and we can put the projector
Totally.
up.
You might have a 2-foot distance window to mount that projector in, but the projector isn't able to do it. You need to have it closer or further away. And without other lens options, you're kind of boned unless you can change that out. But anyways, sweet stuff from Optoma.
Let's take a moment for an email from Adam in North Carolina who writes in, "Hi Robert and Patrick. How are Vizio's 21:9 CinemaWide TVs going to handle processing Blu-ray video that's 235:1, 240:1, or even 255:1? Our letterbox movies 1080p. Won't there be a loss of image quality since it'll most likely simply be zooming into the active image area, or is it some kind of new alien technology?" Thanks for the great show and the info. Adam in North Carolina. Alien technology?
Close. You know what? The Blu-ray video format offers up to 6 times the resolution of the DVD video format itself. But the DVD format has an interesting trick for letterbox movies where only the active portion of the video picture is actually encoded using the format's full resolution. The player then automatically stretches that picture back into the shape needed and it recreates the black bars. Compare that to, say, Blu-ray. They actually encode the black bars into the format's 1920 by 1080 pixel frame. Now, for video purists like myself, I consider that kind of a tragedy, and all the more reason to anticipate a future HD format with even more resolution, improved color, but I'm going off tangent there. Consider for a second a 1080p Blu-ray movie with an aspect ratio, or the shape of the picture, at 235:1. The video's resolution then would be 1920 by 817 pixels. And on Vizio's CinemaWide HDTV with a 2560 by 1500, let me pull up Vizio's beautiful website here actually. Pull up their CinemaWide site just to show that off. Now with that 2560 by 1080 picture resolution at that widescreen aspect ratio, you could also say that it's less wide in a sense. That 233:1 screen aspect ratio of a movie like that, as the video picture is being scaled to fit, the left and the right edges of the video are actually going to be cropped off on that TV if the video is scaled to fit the screen height. You're losing about 8 pixels on each side of the video when you display something 235:1 in that shape for 1080p Blu-ray video.
Right.
Now, my Vizio contact informed me that the CinemaWide TVs will provide a picture control so that letterbox movies can be scaled to completely fill the screen height or left uncropped so that wider aspect ratios, such as Lady and the Tramp's 255:1, can be enjoyed full height, full screen, or scaled to the screen height as well. Now, you look around at a variety of movies out there, and it's really up to the author of the movie in terms of what shape it's going to be, the aspect ratio. You know, the formats we have, like TVs and Blu-rays, those are 16:9 formats. But when we're trying to fit movies that can be any shape, there are some trade-offs with the Blu-ray format.
The short answer is, though, in most cases, it is going to have to scale the image to fit the wideness of the screen.
Always.
There will not be a perfect, on the 21:9, you'll get a big wide screen. You may have a little tiny strip or no strip of black above and below letterboxing, but there will be scaling of that image.
If you want it to fill the screen height, you're probably going to lose a little bit on the sides, and if you want to then keep the whole image on the screen, regardless, even with a 22:9 screen, you might end up with tiny little black bars, if you want though. But the TV gives you the option either way. So if you want the full screen height and get rid of the black bars altogether, you're going to have a pretty good looking picture, but otherwise, it's still there if you need it.
Before you start talking about 4K and the desperate need for it, let's talk about the new Blu-ray releases.
Let's do it. Now it's time for the new Blu-ray releases for the week of February 21st, 2012. This week, Unforgiven, 20th Anniversary Edition. Woohoo! This Clint Eastwood classic was released on Blu-ray in 2006, but now it's getting an overhaul for its 20th anniversary. It appears that the disc is the same as the original release, which Blu-ray.com gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. It still contains the same extras, too. A feature-length commentary by Eastwood biographer Richard Schickel, an episode of Maverick in which Clint Eastwood appears, and 4 documentaries. The only new addition to this release is the digibook format, which brings with it 54 pages of photos, production notes, and more. And as always, check out our show notes at Tekzilla.com or HDNation.tv for the rest of this week's Blu-ray releases. And now it's time to thank one of our sponsors.
Hey, it's simple. You pay full price, you're a sucker. You love alternative apparel brands like Kid Robot, Hurley, and Stussy, but you don't want to waste your cash on them. You got books to buy, right? Listen up. You can score these premium brands at up to 80% off every single day. It's all about a new invite-only shopping club called Jack Threads. They're serving up street, skate, and surfwear brands at prices. You know what? If you were shopping last week, you're going to be pissed when you get on Jack Threads. Usually, there's a wait list to join, but if you head to jackthreads.com/TEK, you'll get instant access to all the killer hookups. Check it out right now. It is free to join. Hit up jackthreads.com/TEK and you'll instantly start saving without even having to leave the house.